Hi, here I am with Commander-in-Chief. And have you played today yet, or is it late?
Yeah, I have played already.
Right, okay. And how did that go? Did you have a big crowd there? The crowd seemed to know you and know your songs?
I thought it was a lot of fun, and people were really into it, so they were responding really well. And I was, getting the audience kind of, how should I put it? I kind of pulled them into the song, by, please, sing this back to me and stuff. And they were reacting really, really well. And I thought it was fun, definitely. I had a great time.
Oh, excellent. Yeah. So, do you find when you play different venues that a lot of the people at the front seem to know your songs from where you play one country or one place to another?
Yeah, they do actually seem to know, and I get surprised. I spend a lot of time, talking with my fans online, and I spend a lot of time on social media. And some people, they are really, how should I put it? They like to talk and comment and stuff. But then you have a lot of people who don't. So when I perform, then I kind of see people who are standing there and they are singing the songs. I'm thinking, I've never spoken to you before, but you seem to know the song.
Yeah.
So that is definitely exciting. So people want to have guitar picks and stuff, and that's really, really cool. I remember asking other bands for guitar picks, so it's really cool when people ask me that question. I think it's cool.
And I think the last time we caught up with you was Bloodstock.
Yeah, you probably did. Yes.
Yeah. And so since Bloodstock to now, what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
Well, I've been doing quite a lot. I was over in Norway, and that was pretty massive. I won there for TNT, and there was a lot of press that happened, along with that. And that was pretty cool. I played a show in Bergen, and the audience was just mental. I'm born in Bergen, so it was pretty cool. And people were singing Paranoid, and they were really into all these songs. It was just crazy. And I played, a really big stage in Rockefeller in Oslo. It's a really, really big venue. That was really, really cool. I played a show in London as well, down at the Garage, warmed up for Lawn Over Death, and that was pretty fun. That was definitely a good crowd as well. And then I've been shooting a video for my song Evolution, from the Evolution EP that I will release hopefully later this month. It's in the editing process. Then I'm also in the Audix catalog. I endorsed the Audix microphones, and I'm in my first catalog. It's like, wow, I never thought I would do that. So it has been a lot of back and forth with music and rehearsing new members, and a lot of press stuff that has been happening, and it has been really exciting.
Oh wow, you have been really busy.
Well, yeah, it sounds cool.
And so you said about your new video, an EP.
Yes.
How can people get hold of that?
People can buy it on Amazon, and people can buy it on iTunes. People can go to my website, thecommanderinchief.net, and I have a page called store where people can see the links to where they can get it. People can actually listen to it as well on my Facebook. So it's all very it's all there if people want to check it out.
Yeah. And tell me about the EP. From what you've done before, is it very different or do you feel it's a natural progression to what you already do?
Yeah, it's very organic, and that's what I always wanted to do. I like it when you listen to a recording, and what you hear is what you will hear. You hear a person singing to you, live. So I wanted to have something that was natural, that was organic, and that's the way the recording sounds, which makes me happy. That's what I like. And a lot of guitar shredding, lots of crazy things on guitar that I'd never done before. There you go. It has been a natural, how should I put it, progress, and yeah.
And the video that goes with it, was that a lot of fun?
Oh yeah, it definitely was. I shot a video for my song Dropout, which is out on my YouTube channel, but that was a performance video. This time is a concept video, so I was very excited. And Evolution is about it's about science gone wrong, so it was inspired by the guy who invented lobotomy, and which is pretty awful, and Walter Freeman, who would drive around in his lobotomobile and lobotomize as many people as he could find who were willing to do it, and also the experiment that Jose Delgado did with electrodes into the brain of monkeys, and the bull experiment, and the Frankenstein book, because the Frankenstein book really just has to deal with ambition, being crazy obsessed with something, and so that really the inspiration that goes into that song, and that was what I was trying to portray. I was trying to portray, or I was portraying this psychiatrist who's really into. I'm trying to come up with the method, my method, and I believe that method is the only method.
Right.
That's what the video is about.
Wow. Yeah. So it does sound like probably a lot of fun and a lot of stuff in there.
Yes, we are editing a lot of stuff that we're trying to get to fit in.
Right. So you're here at Hammerfest and you played. When you leave here, where are you going next? What's happening with you next?
Well, the next big show that I have coming up is the Bergen International Cultural Festival. It is the biggest one in Scandinavia, and it has a different name in Norwegian, but it's like a big, Nordic culture festival. It is the biggest one in Scandinavia. It's massive, and they have a guitar night when you have. I'm one of 6 different guitar players, and I'm the metal guitarist because you have like a jazz guitarist, a blues guitarist, so a different one guitarist per genre basically, and I am the metal shred guitarist. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and that's a big thing coming up, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing it. Yeah.
Brilliant. And have you found that where you go, you meet a lot of old friends that you've played with before in different countries, and is it nice to have sort of a get-together because you don't see them for about 6-7 months and you come to a place, a festival, and then you meet up with people again?
I think it's, I think it's for me, what I really like is to play in London, because in London, whenever I did a lot of shows there last year. Whenever I played there, there's always somebody some musicians and people that that will show up, because there's such a music scene there, and you always know somebody that you will run into, come to your gig, and you hang out until the venue shuts down. And it's a lot of fun doing those type of things, I think. When it comes to big festivals, it's kind of like, I run into Artemis yesterday, from Italy, and I lived in Italy for a little while. I actually took some lessons with their guitarist some time ago. So I know them, but you kind of run into people, go, oh, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, we have to go. Yeah, I have to go too. So that's kind of like that's how you kind of, But I know that, there were some bands playing here that, I heard of before, that I have met before, but you kind of maybe run into people and go, oh, hey, and that's pretty much it.
That's it. Yeah. That's the thing with festivals, I think, for most, it's like one place to another.
Very hectic.
It's very hectic for everybody. Yeah. One of the questions we ask is, like our fantasy question.
Ooh, okay.
Right.
All right.
So if you could play any venue in the world,
yes,
and have any band, dead or alive, supporting you,
right, I like this.
Who would it be?
Any venue in the world. Wow. What about the Opera House in Sydney?
Yeah.
There you go. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And let's see. What if you had like I don't think it would be a band supporting. I think it would be kind of cool to have a big, huge jam session with just loads of really cool musicians.
So in other words, it'd be like a supergroup.
Yeah. Oh, one of those. Another one of those. Well, with the Dead or Alive, we would have to have Janis Joplin there. We would have to have Jimi Hendrix. We would have to have Johnny Cash, Randy Rhoads, Dimebag Darrell, Richard Blackmore. Let me see, Aretha Franklin. Let me see. System of a Down is a really cool band. You have a lot of cool bands though. I'm trying to think now. Dead Kennedys, Misfits. Let's just have a huge jam session.
Oh wow, that would be really interesting.
And Slayer as well.
Yeah, have all those people together.
Yes, and Chopin maybe. Yeah, have Chopin as well. Mozart. Yeah, let's just tuck them all in. All of them.
And see what comes out the other end.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Awesome.
Danny Elfman, he could be there too. Yeah, that would be cool.
And your costume. Do you design it yourself? Or
I do design it myself. Yeah, I like military apparel. There you go. That's the correct word. Yeah. So I really like that. But I think it's kind of hard, if you're a chick, to find, military apparel, because a lot of it is it's for men. Yeah. So if you want to find something that's designed for a woman, you're gonna have a bit of a problem, I think. You find it here and there, but it's usually tricky. Yeah. So I like corsettos. I mean, that's what you say, corsettos, right? Yeah. I mean, right. Corsettos, I like that, so I wanted to have like a corsetto, but I wanted to have a military jacket, so that's kind of, it's like a mix in between the two, and I thought it was kind of cool. So yeah, it's my design, and then I had a lady who sewed it for me, and I have 2 of them at this point, a red one and the blue one, and my favorite one is the blue one because my favorite color is blue. Yeah.
Excellent. And as I say, it's blue and it's beautifully bright.
Thank you.
And
yeah,
it's very noticeable. So people see you and know that.
Yeah, they know it's me. That's right. Yeah.
And we went back and talked about your supergroup.
Yeah.
And so, what musical influences have you had?
Well, pretty much everyone I mentioned in my supergroup. And yeah, I mean, as I said, I listen to absolutely everything. I mean, I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool when you sometimes, you know, you listen to a band and you just find lyrics and you think that, wow, these lyrics are great. And that was kind of the way I felt the first time I actually listened to the Dead Kennedys, because I was really into, you know, what I write about is usually like issues, like what is going on in this world, like, you know, Dropout was about high school shootings. Like what I found out is that when they do these statistics of how many kids get shot, this was in Chicago, so over in the States, they don't count the kids who had dropped out, but if you drop out of school and you live in a bad neighborhood, it is more likely that you will join a gang, you know, and then you might get more, you know, higher chance that you get shot. So, but those people, they don't count in their statistics. They just count the ones that are enrolled because that looks better. You know, and I don't like that. I don't like that when people try to, you know, they try to make things look better. So let's forget about those people over there. It's like, no, you can't do that. You know, we're all part of this world, and, you know, it's important to remember those things, I think. So yeah, my issues, or the issues, not my issues, the issues I write about are usually very like serious topics. And I even started my own like zine, you know, when I was a teenager, which was also talking about, you know, things that were happening, local speaking, you know, that I didn't like, that my friends didn't like, and this is basically what my lyrics reflect, is about what's going on in the world. So yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose we were on about the shootings things, and of course we had all that issue at the school in America that you had as well, and it was like a big outcry, but because I think it was the ages of the children, where the older, where it was more, the older ones hadn't been sort of talked about quite so much. So yeah, that's one of the things, and they're on about changing your gun laws, but as well, aren't they? They've been talking about that.
Yeah, but the thing though is like the bad guys, they always get the weapons though, so it's like, you know, it's that's the thing that it's tricky. Like the crooks and criminals and gangs especially, they always get hold of these weapons, because Chicago, they have the strongest, I mean, they have the most severe gun laws in the United States, and still you have all these shootings. It's the city with the most amount of shootings. You have these very strict laws about gun ownership, but all the gangs and the bad guys, they just keep on getting them. So it's like, I don't really, it's a very tricky issue. It's a tricky issue, because
and it is in a lot of places, I suppose, they have it. I mean, we don't have, you have to have guns on what anybody can have. You have to go to a special, like a guns place to get them, have the training, and then you can't keep one thing in the same place as the others. So it's slightly different, and not living in your countries, knowing what it's like exactly. So it's different from country to country, and they've had shootings here and other countries. So it can be, you know, isolated, and you know.
I think that the tricky one is the fact that, I mean, the biggest like mass murder is actually from Norway. You know, that crazy guy who went amok and, you know, and executed all those children. And Norway is probably like the strictest country in the world when it comes to these kind of laws. And he still got a gun, and he went on a rampage and shot all those kids. So it is a very sensitive topic, and a really tricky issue that cannot really be solved easily. You know, it's like I still have loads of friends in Chicago, and they tell me how it's just getting worse and worse. But then you have the mayor going on television and telling people that, oh, things are getting better. And it's like, a lot of these posh people, they don't understand these issues because they live in a fancy neighborhood. They don't know how it's like. And it's like, dude, you have to listen to everything and everyone, you know.
Right. Well, I think we'll have to wrap it up there.
All right, okay.
Thank you very much for your time. And that was a really in-depth insight into what you feel, what you believe, and the band and everything else, and your influences.
Definitely.
And one day, if you had a chance, maybe somebody who's on your wish list might end up playing with you.
Oh, that would be great. That would be excellent. Yeah, that would be great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the interview. Thank you.
Okay.